Welcome back in, guys. This is Jake Ellenbogen, part of JE Live. And yesterday we had an awesome little interview that we did with Tutu Atwell. And that was great. And things were great. And looking forward to Monday Night Football. And then all of a sudden, things got a little crazy today. Unfortunately, the Rams are going to be without Jalen Ramsey and Tyler Higbee. You did not read that title wrong. As you guys know, I'm not a big fan of clickbait. Like to tell it how it is. Yes, Tyler Higbee and Jalen Ramsey are out due to the COVID protocol. I was kind of informed this early this morning. I kind of sat on this news because I wasn't very sure. I wasn't 100% sure it was right, and we're dealing with medical stuff, so I didn't want to really tweet it out. But I was given that tip earlier this morning, and awful. Awful. Hate it so much. We won't get into my thoughts on that whole COVID protocol, how I feel like it's very flawed. You can get a positive test and then you get 2 negative tests and you're still out for the game, even if that positive does come back to be a false positive. It does not matter. It is incredibly ridiculous. It's annoying, but I am here not to sit here and rant about the COVID protocol. I'm not here to sit and rant about how the Cardinals they're about the luckiest team right now, having to play the Rams without all the players. I could literally give you a list. No, that's not what this is about. What this is about is you guys are coming on here. We're going to discuss this, your thoughts, my thoughts on this, but I'm also going to inform you because not everyone is well aware of what happens next. It's all a bunch of complaining, and I understand that. It's also a bunch of, worrying. And what I want to do is I want to let you guys know of, who you can expect tonight, what this changes, how, the game plan could be altered, things along that nature. Obviously, we all know the Rams are going to run the football, right? They came into this game, they were likely going to run a lot of 12 personnel grouping like last week, maybe some 13 personnel. It started off the week, it didn't go all that well. I was told that that Darrell Henderson was held out last week, so he would be ready for this game. His calf did not heal as well as they were expecting, although he probably does end up playing, but he ended up testing positive for COVID. Then on top of that, you have Rob Havenstein, who ends up being part of that COVID protocol, and he's out. Now, I want to point this out for anybody that's ruling the Rams out because they lost Rob Havenstein and Darrell Henderson. Before we get into the two guys that we just found out about, I will say this. The Rams lost David Edwards and they lost Brian Allen last week in the game, and they responded. They got some solid contribution out of Bobby Evans when need be. They got really good contribution out of Joe Noteboom, who's likely going to play right tackle today. And they got great contribution out of a center who I didn't have a ton of, expectations for, but he played very well, albeit it was against the Jaguars, but Coleman Shelton. And here's the big thing here. Coleman Shelton is going to start tonight. In all likelihood, it does seem like Brian Allen is out. So with that said, Coleman Shelton is likely going to start center. I think he is actually a really good fit for their passing attack. I think he's a better pass protector than Brian Allen is, whereas I feel like Brian Allen is better in the run game. But either way, I think Coleman Shelton is going to be fine at center. You look at who's next to him. You have Corbett. Looks like Edwards is going to be good to go. You have Witt, and now you have Noteboom at right tackle. The Rams are going to be fine on the offensive line. The question remains, though, when they go into the 12-13 personnel grouping, if they do, I can't imagine they pull the plug on what was probably going to be part of their game plan. But if they do, they're going to be without Tyler Higbee. And that is a bigger issue than people are giving credit for. I know there's a lot of talk about Jalen, and I understand that. Jalen Ramsey is the best cornerback in football and has played a position where he's had to play multiple positions. He's been all over the field, and he's been huge for them in that star role. However, the big issue here on the offensive side is without Tyler Higbee, now they are really thin at tight end. They just brought up Jared Pinkney off the practice squad. Who knows how many snaps he'll get, if any. They have Bryson Hopkins, who, I think is more of a receiving threat. They've been using him as a blocker occasionally. and Kendall Blanton is expected to start tonight, if not Bryson Hopkins. So, how does that change the original game plan? Well, assuming the Rams had 12 personnel grouping in mind, it does change it significantly. They don't have their blocking tight end, who they lost earlier in the year, in Johnny Munt. They don't have Tyler Higbee. And so essentially now it's down to Kendall Blanton, Bryson Hopkins, Jared Pinkney, and I would make the argument that you could see Ben Skoranek in a little bit of a tight end role. If they want to go 13 personnel, perhaps you see Ben Skoranek. I think Ben Skoranek's a very good blocker and could potentially play that and fill that position. Not too bad. Here's the thing, though. Do the Rams abandon it? Do they abandon 12 personnel? Do they go mainly 11 personnel? I don't think so. I think they are going to give these guys an opportunity. It's time to step up. This is a huge game. It does not matter. No one is going to feel sorry for you. This is how the league works. The Rams have been battered with injuries all season long. The only difference is you don't hear the Rams fans and the Rams complaining about it, because that's not what they do. But when you look at it, they lost Cam Akers to start the season. They lost Robert Woods. They lost Sebastian Joseph Day. Now they lose Havenstein. They lose Ramsey. They lose Higbee. They lose Henderson. They've had injuries all over the place. Brian Allen isn't going to play. They had an injury to a guy that was playing extremely well on the outside in Hollins, Justin Hollins. He'll be back this tonight. We'll see his role. That could be a little different. But the point here is that the Rams continue to play regardless of these injuries. They continue to kind of push through them. They've found alternate ways of winning games, and they're going to have to do it again tonight. This is not going to be a very defensive game, in case you were wondering. Without Jalen Ramsey, that means David Long Jr. is likely going to start opposite of Darius Williams, with Dante Dion ruled out, and with of course, Robert Rochelle going on IR. That also does mean they did bring up Kareem Orr, who is, he has some fans I know in this community. Kareem Orr has a little bit of a cult fan base. Big fan of his, like looking at what he did in the preseason. This is a big opportunity for him in case he does, get an opportunity to play on the defensive side in a nickel role. On top of that, they added Grant Haley, a guy that offers some depth as far as the return game. I think they added a few guys to this roster that could return kicks, but the most important thing in regards to returning is that Brandon Powell, who had the 40-plus yard return last week, he is back. He has been taken off the practice squad, elevated to the active roster for this game. He is going to be the kick returner. In addition to that, the Rams did promote a running back that's been mentioned many times on this channel and was mentioned last night. Tutu Atwell gave his sign of approval, and that is the former Louisville running back, Javian Hawkins, the UDFA. He is going to be active tonight. So it's him, it is Mekhi Sargent, and it's Sony Michel. For those of you who don't remember what I was saying earlier in the week, Sony Michel he does still have what Todd Gurley had. He has the arthritic knee. He's dealt with injuries. I saw an injury projector the other day. Sony Michel had a 69% injury projection where he's 69% likely to suffer an injury. And if that's the case, the Rams would then just be down to Mekhi Sargent, and they would be down to Javian Hawkins. So there's going to be some, mixing and matching. We'll see how things go. You can't force Sony Michel into a massive role when, he is the only guy. You can't have him run 35, 40 times like some people want him to do. But, potentially this is a 25 carry game, maybe even a 30 carry game. You're not going to see 40 out of him. But, potentially you'll see Mekhi Sargent get an opportunity and Javian Hawkins. However, the big thing here is Higbee, right off the bat, you want to see them be able to fill in for Tyler Higbee. This is a huge opportunity for Bryson Hopkins. This is now or never. There's nobody in front of you except for Kendall Blanton, who you are pretty much his equal at that point. And on top of Blanton, this is a huge opportunity for Blanton, who last week dropped a touchdown he sure wants to have back. So this is a huge opportunity for him, as well as Jared Pinkney, who, he's bounced around the league a little bit, but now, he's getting an opportunity. We'll see if he gets, some run on the offense. But again, tons of opportunities. You can look at this in the pessimistic, negative way, or you can look at it as these guys are getting golden reps, golden opportunity reps against a top-notch team, and they have a chance to maybe show, okay, this guy can play a little bit. These are the types of games you find who can play and who can't. So, I joked about it yesterday with a friend of mine. I said yesterday, really, it seemed like a lot of teams went from contenders to pretenders. We saw the league kind of split up. We saw, teams kind of take that next step. We saw the Chiefs, pull away from the Raiders. We saw the Raiders shoot back down to reality. We saw the Denver Broncos step up and go 7-6. We saw the Bills unable to come back and win that game. They're now falling. We're seeing it. But another thing that you'll see comparative of that is when these players get this opportunity. Who steps up? This is a huge game for the Rams. They can still win the division, but they have to win this football game if they want to win the division. And they could still get the number 1 seed, but they have to win this football game. They're not getting either if they don't beat the Cardinals tonight. And it does not matter how hard it is for them. There's not going to be any sob stories. None of that. The Rams are going to have to go out there and do their job. And I think it's going to start right off the bat. They're going to give it to Sony Michel. They're going to let him, carry. I think he'll get 20, 25 carries in this game. I think he'll go over 100 yards. Take advantage of a lower ranked run defense in the league, one of the worst in the Cardinals. But here's the thing, and this is why you have to keep the 12 personnel going, is because the Rams they can be super predictable. And if you're going to be an 11 personnel and say, you know what, they win, I'm just going to give it to them. Tyler Higbee's out. We have to change our game plan entirely. I'm not even going to test it. If they are like that, then the Cardinals, who are the top-ranked pass defense in DVOA, are going to feast on the Rams receivers because that's what they've been doing. And they're going to pick off Stafford, and they're going to force turnovers, and they might even, have a pick 6 and put points on the board. They can't allow that. You can't be predictable. The Arizona Cardinals are beatable. They've lost 2 games at home. The only 2 games they've lost, it has come at home. So you have to be able to make do with what you have there. But at the end of the day, I do think the Rams can still win this game. And I understand you guys aren't necessarily coming here for, me to complain and whine and moan, whatever. But I'm also going to keep it real with you. The Rams could easily lose this game. I think it could go either way. It's going to be a matter of the Rams players stepping up. And I know it sounds very elementary, but when you look at it, Cooper Kupp catches a touchdown, the Rams win 100% of the time. When Cooper Kupp doesn't catch a touchdown, they lose 100% of the time. Cooper Kupp did not catch a touchdown, obviously, against the Cardinals, like I just said, and he was held under 70 yards. It was the lowest yardage output of the entire season. So if Arizona can stop Cooper Kupp, then it could be, rough. But here's the thing. If Arizona stops Cooper Kupp, that shouldn't be the game. They should be able to find avenues. They should be able to use Odell Beckham Jr., who's playing well. They should be able to use Van Jefferson. Ben Skoranek makes a nice 30-plus yard catch last week. They should be able to use Sony Michel. Maybe mix things up. Nobody would see it coming if they wanted to use Javian Hawkins as a pass catcher out of the backfield. He has this explosiveness that's not in this backfield right now. He is faster and more explosive than Sargent and Michel. I would like to see Hawkins used as kind of a wild card, a change of pace. I would love to see that. So the Rams have a lot of different things that they can do tonight. No, I would not bet on this game in a million years unless you're going on Prize Picks, which, of course, this channel is sponsored by. If you go on Prize Picks, you can add on over. You can take over and under on different, props like yards, tackles. Like, for instance, I took the over on 4.5 tackles for Taylor Rapp. Taylor Rapp was going to get that, I think, before Ramsey was ruled out, but now he's definitely going to get it, in my opinion. So I think Taylor Rapp goes over 4.5 tackles, but you can do it over there. I'm just saying, this is not a game where I'm going over or under. I don't think you know what's going to happen in this game. It's about as up in the air as it gets. I have no idea. You have no idea. No one has any idea. We just don't know. This type of game is unprecedented on the Rams schedule the whole season. We haven't seen the Rams be this banged up. And I mean, I'm going to bring it up right now because, I kept hearing, I think throughout, you guys watch the NFL. I kept hearing throughout the Dallas Cowboys Washington football team game. I kept hearing over and over again how the Cowboys are banged up. Look, the Cowboys are not that banged up. I think almost everyone's back. But you know who nobody's talking about? It's the Rams. I mean, I have this list here that I made. Listen to this. Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, Jake Funk, Tutu Atwell, Robert Woods, Jacob Harris, Tyler Higbee, Johnny Munt, Rob Havenstein, Brian Allen, Sebastian Joseph Day, Traven Howard, Dante Dion, Jalen Ramsey, Robert Rochelle, Buddy Howell, Jamil Demby, and he's coming back, but also Justin Hollins. That has been the Rams' list of injuries and COVID protocol, and that is insane. They are the team that no one is talking about as far as injuries, but we can't stop for a second before somebody mentions Stafford throwing a pick six. It's honestly incredible. But let's not forget, even if this team ends up being the fifth seed last year in a 14-team playoff format, but 7 for each conference, the fifth seeded team last year won the Super Bowl. They played all road games in the playoffs, and then they went to the Super Bowl on their home turf, and that was Tampa Bay. But one thing that is not remembered enough is that Tampa Bay was not fully healthy. Honestly, I don't remember the last time they lost in Tampa. I'm pretty sure the last time they lost in Tampa Bay was against the Rams. After they lost to the Rams and Chiefs back-to-back, they went on this run. And I think it's very realistic if the Rams can win this game. If the Rams, seriously, they come out and they win this game with everything that's going on, all the injuries, first off, things are going to get better. They're expected to get Akers back in the playoffs, and this team isn't missing the playoffs no matter how negative you want to be. They're just not. Secondly, it's COVID. COVID sucks. I hate it, right? But at the same time, Havenstein's likely going to be back. Ramsey feels good. He's annoyed he can't play. He'll be back. Tyler Higbee had 2 negative tests, and because he had a positive test, he can't play. He'll be back. Henderson will be back. They have Justin Hollins back. They'll get Sebastian Joseph Day back probably around playoff time. And then they have guys like Ashawn Robinson playing his best football, Greg Gaines stepping up, Aaron Donald being Aaron Donald, Darius Williams putting together his most complete game of the entire season last week. You're having guys in the secondary, Taylor Rapp stepping up, Jordan Fuller stepping up. Odell has a chance to go 3 straight games with 3 straight touchdowns since joining the Rams. He hasn't done that since 2015, weeks 13 and 15, 13 through 15 in that season. Okay. By the way, Cooper Kupp is on pace to potentially challenge Calvin Johnson's ridiculous receiving yards record. Sony Michel's coming off a 100-yard game and looked pretty good. And on top of that, the Rams are running the football again. So, yeah, things seem bleak. But if the Rams win this game, it only gets better from here on out. Knock on wood, because there could be an injury or two in the game. But you get my point. Von Miller's getting more integrated with the defense. They're going to find different ways to utilize Hollins, who's back, who could play outside, but also could play some inside. They're getting great contributions out of the rookie linebacker in Ernest Jones. I just think there's a lot of things that are going well for the Rams that, yes, we can look at this game and say, oh, this is awful, it sucks, whatever. Or we can look at it like, this is a huge opportunity. If the Rams beat Arizona with all of these injuries and COVID protocols and whatever on the road on Monday Night Football, how can you even discuss them not being one of the top teams in the league? I don't care about the record. As I said, they had a bad stretch. But if they come out and they beat Arizona on their turf with all their injuries, that is saying a lot. And so, again, we don't know, right? We don't know how it's going to go. This could very well be a loss. They don't have Jalen Ramsey, and I can't stress enough how big of a loss that is, especially with David Long, the way he played against the Cardinals in Week 4. But I can't sit here and say the Rams are 100% going to lose. And honestly, part of me believes that the Rams will just use this as motivation and come out even tougher on the road. And I do think the Rams still win this football game. I think this is one of those games where you look back on it, you're in the playoffs, you're getting ready to play, say, a Dallas or Green Bay, and you look back and you remember, hey, remember the Rams? Everyone counted them out, and the Rams ended up going on the road on Monday Night Football with their, some of their best players out, and they took care of business. This is why I believe that they can win this game in the playoffs, because I feel like we're going to go back and look at this game. And again, this could totally be wrong, and this could totally end up blowing up in my face and be one of those, cold takes of the year. But I really do feel good about the Rams because everyone wants to look at, oh, this team's over. It's over. They're frauds. They're going to get destroyed. So let's just talk about this. Let's say Arizona predictably scores a lot of points. Let's say Arizona throws all over this defense. David Long can't stop a nosebleed, and Arizona scores 30 or something. You don't think the Rams offense, despite losing Robert Woods, you don't think the Rams offense can't put up 30? You don't think Stafford, who's top 3 in almost every passing statistic known to man, you don't think he can put up 30? You don't think Sony Michel, coming off his best game of, his career since 2018, you don't think he can ride that wave and can help them put up 30? You don't think the hottest receiver and maybe the best skill position player in the league in Cooper Kupp, who's on pace to potentially pass Calvin Johnson, you don't think he can help put up 30? How about Odell Beckham Jr.? Model of consistency. We're talking 2 straight games just thrown in this offense with hardly any practice and put up 2 touchdowns, and he's healthier this week. He played with a hurt back last week. You don't think he can help put up 30? How about Van Jefferson, the equalizer, the guy that's been used as a deep threat as well? You don't think he can help put up 30? You don't think that the offensive line, which showed adversity last week, losing 2 guys in their interior, only stepping up and raising the level of the competition, you don't think they can help put up 30? That's my thing. And on top of it, say that this team gives up a lot of points, okay? What if this team with, God forbid, Aaron Donald or a Von Miller or Leonard Floyd give up 30-plus points in this game as a defense, but when push comes to shove and the Rams continue to match them offensively, all of a sudden, they make a play. Because, hate to break it to you Cardinals fans, Von Miller's a ticking time bomb. He is ready, okay? He's been integrated into this defense. It's taken a little bit. He was hurt. He was hurt more than the Rams expected coming in. He was brought in to win games in January and be the difference maker, be help on the outside. You have Leonard Floyd playing as well as he is. You have Aaron Donald, Greg Gaines. As long as they can contain Kyler Murray, I won't rule it out that they force some fumbles, make some plays, maybe even he throws a pick 6. I won't rule it out, okay? And I keep hearing another thing. The Rams, they have no depth whatsoever. Well, look, the Rams have no depth because all their depth got hurt. Look at their running backs, okay? Cam Akers got hurt. Jake Funk got hurt. Xavier Jones got hurt. Darrell Henderson got hurt. I mean, there are guys that are going to be suiting up at the running back position tonight that weren't on the Rams to start the season. Sony Michel was traded for, and he was. But Javian Hawkins was on the Titans. Mekhi Sargent was on the Javian Hawkins was on the Titans and the Falcons. Mekhi Sargent was on the Titans. These guys were added during the season in their practice squad, okay? These guys weren't even on the team to start the first game of the season. Jared Pinkney, I'm pretty sure, was added to the practice squad 3 weeks ago. And now here he is. So, I just, I find it really funny when people say they have no depth. What do you call depth? The fact the Rams are even competitive, the fact that they have a chance in this game shows that they do have depth, because other teams, if they didn't have a Jalen Ramsey, if they didn't have Sebastian Joseph Day, if a Robert Woods was out, if all these injuries stacked up on other teams, I guarantee you only a select few would be able to overcome them. Teams like Green Bay, for instance, because great teams overcome tough obstacles. And when you look at Green Bay against the Rams, they won that game. It was close. They won that game with hardly anybody healthy on their offensive line. Aaron Rodgers playing with a broken toe. You had, Jair Alexander was out. These teams win these games. And that's the thing. The Rams, the fact that they're even competitive shows that they had depth. Because other teams would have already clocked out all that depth. It's gone. The Rams are bringing guys off the practice squad, and this game is competitive. It's considered a game. It's not a guaranteed win for Arizona. And by the way, on top of that, the Rams have actually had, success because Dante Dion didn't even make the team. If you remember, Dante Dion was a practice squad guy. He carved out a role to the point where he is now a loss, and a significant one at that, to not be out there at the nickel spot. This is what I'm talking about, and this is why a good team and how a good team is built up. When all of a sudden you have these guys that were on the practice squad, and then, they come up and they play well, and then they get hurt and there's significant losses, that tells me that you're knowing how to build your team, your roster, your organization from the inside out. You have great player development, you have great coaching, and you have great scheming, and it's why these guys are succeeding. I mean, I love Corey Littleton, but look at Corey Littleton as a UDFA coming out of Washington, coming to the Rams, turning into a stud, and look at him in the that Raiders organization. He's not even the same player. And it's not that Corey Littleton isn't capable of it, but it goes to show you what the Rams do with these guys, these UDFAs, these practice squad guys, these scoop up like Jameer Jones that the Steelers just threw away. They always find these roles for them. That's how they add this depth, and that's how they continue to be competitive despite dealing with all these injuries. That is what I will say on that depth point, which is why, I'll be honest with you, the whole Rams don't have depth thing is ridiculous. Yeah, after a while when you're on your 27th injury on the year, yeah, you start to run out of depth. But the whole point of the depth is that it takes 27 injuries to start running out of it. And I agree with you, Matthew. Next man up league, that's what it's all about. But how is everyone doing, man? That was a rant for almost 30 minutes nonstop. I had to. I'm fired up. I feel good about this game. I know it sounds weird. I'm a little different. I really love player development, and I love the young guys. I think the thing that, guys like, say, a Darius Hilliard, or Dontrell Hilliard, I think it's Dontrell Hilliard, over on Tennessee. Players like Jakeem Grant last night for the Bears, trade that got pushed underneath the transaction wire. People forgot about him. He scores, 34 fantasy points last night, had a kick return, was, utilized in the passing game. I love it because at the end of the day, people, when they see guys like a Jakeem Grant, or even if you want to use a Rams example, when they see guys like Dante Dion, it reminds them that this league is full of those guys and opportunities aren't full. There's not a ton of opportunities, so you have to make the most of what you're given, and some of these guys never get that opportunity. There's a quarterback you guys have probably never heard of, in Kyle Sloter, that if he played on half the teams in the league, I'm sure he could lead them to a winning record. He's got all the tools. He just doesn't have an opportunity. There's so many guys like that. And so when there's times like this, and I could sit here and be a total miserable, bloke on live and just complain and say how the refs are out to get us or the NFL is rigged or something like that, I choose to focus my energy on, you know what? This is kind of cool in a weird way. It's cool to see Kendall Bland get an opportunity as a starter. It's cool to see, a guy like Bryson Hopkins that I've been following. I interviewed at the Senior Bowl when he came out of Purdue. It's cool to see him get an opportunity. It's cool to see Javian Hawkins, a guy that I really liked during the draft process and talked about last night with Tutu Atwell. It's cool to see him get an opportunity. Mekhi Sargent. It's cool to see Kareem Moore, who balled out in training camp and preseason, a guy that I feel like on any other team, he probably is already the nickel corner on most teams in the league. But with the Rams, since they've been so top heavy, he hasn't gotten the opportunity. A guy like Greg Gaines finally getting an opportunity, who's been behind big time, players. I like that. And that's how I choose to look at some of these games. And so I understand this regular season game. I understand, this is a huge game and a huge win is on the line. But I also am going to sit here and tell you how it is and offer some different things. Because if you turn on, no offense, if you turn on NFL Network or if you turn on ESPN or you turn on any of those shows, they're going to tell you that the Rams have no chance. They're picking the Cardinals. They'll say it's because Ramsey and Higbee are out and Henderson's out and Havenstein's out. But I already know that. So what are they going to tell you about who's replacing them? Because most of the time, they're not going to tell you that. And they might even use it as a punchline or a joke. Be like, check notes, Grant Haley? Yeah, they're losing. I've seen that. But instead, I'm going to tell you how it is. Because the Rams today did promote players from the practice squad. And that's important. They promoted guys that are going to get an opportunity. Brandon Powell. Look, if you're not paying attention, you wouldn't have known. Brandon Powell was promoted last week, became the kick returner after first kick return of his career, or at least on the Rams. He took over 40 yards. It's the longest kick return since, I believe, I want to say, because it's definitely not Natson. It would have to be Farrell Cooper. So Brandon Powell's the guy that they promoted. Oh, Jared Pinkney. He's bounced around a little bit. He has some opportunity. I believe he's from Vanderbilt, if I'm not mistaken. And I actually might be mistaken. He might be from South Carolina. I'm going to check on that real quick because I don't like giving away false information. No, he's from Vanderbilt. I got that right the first time. Pinkney is a 6'4", 250-poundish, I believe. Let's see here. If it ever loads. 6'4", 257 pounds. Not a very fast tight end. Strong, 6'7" round guy, like I said, good size, fluid hips. He's not super fast. He was pretty good against, run after the catch. I'm just bringing up my notes of him. And I liked his bang bang play ability where he would hold on to the football when he got smacked. Like a big hit over the middle, he can hang on. I don't know if they'll use him in the passing attack. I really don't. But it'll be interesting to see what Pinkney does. And then Kareem Moore, I've already talked about him. You guys know I like him a lot at Chattanooga. I'm a big fan of Kareem Moore. We'll see what happens with him. He might get some opportunities to run at nickel. Then you have Grant Haley, who from Penn State, 5'9", nickel corner, but also return specialist. So they have some depth there at the return spot. With Grant Haley, he could spell Brandon Powell if they need him to. And then Javian Hawkins. I mean, what can I say about him that I haven't already said? Explosive player, a guy that's an underrated, blocker, in pass pro, guy that can make plays out of the backfield as a pass catcher, can run routes, can make a man miss. He's slippery in space, runs with some great pad level. I think it has to be that he's just taken a little bit to adjust to the speed of the game. But I really do think if he were to get an opportunity, he would be sneaky. Mekhi Sargent, reliable back, holds on the ball. Not really worried about him, more of a secure type of running back there. And then they also activated from the practice squad Jeremiah Colon, the guard from San Jose State. So he will likely get an opportunity as well to be depth there on the offensive line. But, that's just how I look at it, guys. There's opportunities all over the place. Whether you see it or not, these guys are all fighting for jobs. They're all fighting for reps. They're all fighting for the opportunity to have a resume. You and I, we go to a store, we apply, we get the job, able to put that job on our resume. With football players, you can't just say, hey, I was in the NFL, I was on the Rams. You have to have game film. That's part of your resume. And so these guys are able to put that on tape. It helps them. I just think at the end of the day, the league's full of talented guys that some you just never end up seeing. And it's unfortunate, but that's how I'm choosing to look at this game. I'm excited to see these guys get an opportunity. I don't know how much of it will be, but looking at the most realistic options, and I did highlight them on my Twitter. You can follow me at JKBogan on Twitter to check out some of my tweets. But I did highlight that you can expect guys like Mekhi Sargent and Javian Hawkins to potentially see some reps at running back, Kendall Blanton and Bryson Hopkins at tight end, in addition to Jared Pinkney, who we just talked about. Joe Noteboom at right tackle, the potential of Bobby Evans being used as a sixth offensive lineman. They could do that. They could. I don't know if they'll do it. They could. They did it last week. And then David Long, who you'll see at starting corner alongside Darius Williams. And let's also talk about that, okay? I can sit here and I can complain. I don't want to see David Long at corner. But hey, what about the fact, what if we're looking at this all wrong? What if David Long comes out and just balls out, right? He shuts down a guy like, Hopkins or Kirk or Green, and he builds on that. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, David Long can play, Rochelle can play, Dion can play, Ramsey can obviously play, and Darius can play. All of a sudden, the Rams are feeling pretty good. David Long, it's almost like, we trash him at times. But this is also a huge opportunity for guys that have struggled. If they make an impact in this game, they can really build off that. So I'm not saying, yes, David Long is going to go out there and shut down one of the best cornerbacks in the league. And I'm not saying that. But I am also saying that, if he were to come out there and play well, he could build off this. So it's not just an opportunity for guys that never play. It's an opportunity for guys that have played and have played poorly. They can put together some good tape. And then at the end of the day, you build off that. And that's how you get better. I mean, I've seen that before. Guys have it's been night and day. They've gotten way better, with more reps. That's how you learn in this league. I mean, Nick Scott's gotten a lot of chances to play. I want to see Terrell Burgess get a chance to play. I want to see him play nickel. I definitely want to see him play some nickel. I want to see him, utilized a little bit more in that regard. I definitely, like I said, there's opportunities all around. I know I can't stop saying the O word, but that's what tonight is. It's opportunity. That's what it is. And we'll see, And on top of it, who's to say this doesn't help the Rams as a whole? If the Rams win this game, they can build off a game in which they won without their top players. They won this game injured. They won this game banged up and unhealthy. And they beat the top team in the league, arguably. So, there's a lot that you can put on this game. So, yes. All right. Rant over. Thank you all for joining me. We have almost 1,000 views, and we just started streaming about 40 minutes ago. So, yeah, big motivational boost if they win. Everyone, if you could give this a thumbs up. I like to do it on this side. If you could give this a thumbs up, would really appreciate it. Give it, drop a like, whatever terminology you want to use. It really does help me. We're over 200 people, have 65 likes. YouTube will recommend this more if we get more likes. So let's give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't. We're nearing 8,500 subscriptions or subscribers. I don't know how to say it, but I'm trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the month. That's my new goal. We'll see if we get there, but I feel like we are slowly but surely making some good progress. I'm pretty stoked for this game. What's up, L Pineapples? P-Train, I don't have the game. I'm not streaming the game. So I don't know. As far as link, you don't get ESPN. Yeah, I don't know. There's probably somebody in here that can help you out as far as the streams. I just don't know any stream sites because I haven't used them in a while. What's up, Ashton? How's it going? Just think about this. I mean, for some people that are in this chat, this will make sense. But for my diehard fans out there that love this channel and love everything I do on it, imagine the Rams win this game. Then Wednesday we get, I can't even talk. Wednesday we get Hawkeye episode 5 with all the crazy, quote unquote, it's gonna blow up Twitter, and then Thursday or Friday, depending on when you got your tickets, we get Spider-Man No Way Home, the most anticipated movie of the last decade. So think about that. You can watch on Hulu Live. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you helping him out. I'm stupid when it comes to that stuff. I don't know for sure, but I know there's people that are masters at that. Dame, I just saw your comment. Who's starting in the secondary? Projected, it's going to be Darius Williams, David Long. Then at nickel, it could be Burgess. It could be, Kareem Orr. It could be Grant Haley. We'll see. And then at safety, you're going to see Rapp and Fuller. Oh, that'd be nice if Goff helped us out next week. Yeah, I'll see Spider-Man on... what was I going to say? I'll see Spider-Man on Friday. So I'll have a video out for that. Probably a spoiler-free stream at some point. Betting odds on this game. One sec, I'll check over on our sponsor, MyBookie. Okay, the Rams, I don't know if it's changed or not, but the Rams +3 are 3-point underdogs, which is just standard for a home team. I mean, I hope Terrell Burgess gets some opportunity. I don't know for sure. Yeah, don't spoil that in the chat. I don't want any spoilers about No Way Home. I don't know. I mean, the O-line's top 10 this year, and they probably had their best game last week despite losing 2 guys on it, so... Good question, Joakim. I think that, when you look at their game plan coming into this game, they probably didn't know for sure they wouldn't have Ramsey or Higbee until maybe late last night. So, I mean, they'll probably modify it a little bit, but I can't imagine they're scrapping the game plan. I don't know what's going on about Nick Scott. Make sure to hit the like button, guys. My camera just turned off autofocus, so or turned off manual focus, so now it's autofocusing. So if I do this, now you can see Michael a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if Justin Hollins is going to be on the inside or not. I'd imagine they'll use him a little bit since he was playing there before, but yeah, I'm not really sure. Rick, I can't imagine you're going to see Chris Garrett much at all in this game. He had a really good preseason, but they went out. They got some great contributions out of Ogbonnaya Okoronkwo when he came back. And keep in mind, Garrett got COVID and got behind a little bit, everyone else. Lewis came back. Ogbonnaya Okoronkwo came back. They ended up going out and getting Von Miller. So he's kind of fallen out of favor for this year. Really, I see him more as a long-term developmental guy. Yeah, Michael Myers, the like button, yes. That's what I heard that as well, Pineapples. I'm pretty sure David Long is going to start tonight, but I mean, stranger things have happened. I don't know for sure. boy. I mean, just because I'm being optimistic doesn't mean I wouldn't like to have those players available. I guess we'll see on the Murray spy. I don't know if he's gonna have a spy or not. It's not as simple as putting a spy on him. There's a lot of things that go into that, so we'll see. I don't know for sure, but oh man. D will pick tonight. You locking that in? All right. Well, since I got autofocus back, I would like everybody in this chat to give Prize Picks a shot if you haven't already. As long as it's available in your area of the world. There's a chance it's not. But if you go over to Prize Picks, you can type in promo code DTRAMS and double your first deposit, and you can put money down on guys going over or under their yards projection, touchdowns projection, whatever stat projection for the day, and you can do it for Monday Night Football. And so, it's definitely something there. Hit the link. You can sign up right off the rip. And this is my lineup tonight for the Rams and Cardinals game. Sony Michel over 64.5. We got Kyler Murray running over. He has to run 26 yards, and we cash that. Cooper Kupp going over 88.5. Odell Beckham Jr. going over 10 fantasy score. Fantasy score is PPR, so point per reception. And then Taylor Rapp going over 4.5 tackles, so he just needs 5, and he's gotten that a bunch this season. So this is the game. This is the app you want to download. Thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring the channel and Downtown Rams. And very much do recommend Prize Picks. If anyone has any questions about how to do it, anything about it, hit the link and drop a comment below. Let me know. In addition to that, another sponsor, I have my own game over at Chancer. And you can actually download the Chancer app today and play the Rams-Cardinals projection game. So a few of those in there. Figured I'd mention them. Also, another thing, Nolan, I'm going to ask you to do the honors. Drop the Discord link. We do have a Discord. We have a community that is ever so slightly, it seems like, growing each week. And we have 369 total members on Discord. Also, let's get to 100 likes. Yes, Nolan, I agree. What's up, LA Rams? So hit that Discord link. And again, with Prize Picks, hit that link as well. And sign up with Prize Picks. And, let's start winning some money. I'll drop some lineups each time. And we'll have some fun with it. Prize Picks is cool because you get 5 out of 5 right, you win 10 times your money. You get 4 out of 5 right, you win 2 times your money. And even if you only get 3 out of 5, you still win back some of your initial bet. So I do believe the Rams can win, in my opinion, yes. Yeah. Yeah, there's some people in that Discord chat that take it a little too far. I've asked people to be a little bit better just in case, 2-2 ends up showing up in there, but also, if you guys haven't already, be sure to check out my interview with Tutu Atwell. It is on the channel, and yeah, it was great yesterday. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, I think Van and OBJ could have a pretty big bit. All right, well, I got to ask you guys. So, with price picks, with these over under, everyone in the chat will start off with Sony Michel. Is Sony Michel going over 64.5 rushing yards or under? Drop it in the chat. Thank you for donating, Matthew. Appreciate you. So Sony Michel, is he going over 64.5 or under? We got over, yes, over, 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 over. So we have a lot of overs. I haven't seen one under on that. So everyone seems to believe that Sony Michel is going over 64.5. Is Kyler Murray going over 25.5 rushing yards? So Kyler's going over. Okay. All right. So you got me 2 out of 5 so far. Let's see what we can do here. Cooper Kupp, is he going over 88.5 receiving yards? He was held under 70 against the Cardinals week 4. He has not gone lower than 90 since. Over 88.5. Under Kupp. Under. Bunch of over. Some unders on that. Okay. All right. Now, OBJ, is he going over 10 fantasy points tonight, PPR? Keep in mind, all he would need is 6 catches for 50 yards, which would be 11, or he just needs 10.1 fantasy points in any way he can get it. Is he going over? And make sure you type over OBJ or under OBJ. Over. Okay. We got an under. Okay. All right. All right. Under, over. All right. And now the last one here. Taylor Rapp, is he going over 4.5 tackles or under 4.5 tackles? That means he'd have to have 5 total tackles in this game. And just put over or under Taylor Rapp. Or Rapp, whatever. Over, under. A lot of overs. Under. Okay, bunch of overs there. Some unders. So, if you feel pretty confident in this line, you can go over to Prize Picks and you can put this thing in, copy it, and what you'll do is, look, I put $32 down. If all 5 of these hit, look at that. So if you want to get in on the action, be sure to head on over to Prize Picks and use that promo link. It's in the description, but it's also in the comment section. I'll drop it again. And let me know if you guys do use that, if you guys sign up, if you guys do some picks, hit me up. Send me a message. Let me know what you're rocking, okay? I'm going to be doing these lineups. I do them all the time. NBA, NHL, and NFL, whatever. Do them all the time. Happy to help. We can copy lineups in this. So, yeah. But it's not just the that's my lineup. But if you guys aren't interested in my lineup, so to speak, here are the passing yards. We got Stafford and we got Kyler Murray. I don't like either of those because I just don't know the way this game is going to go. I feel like Kyler Murray's rushing is going to keep that passing pretty low. So I went with neither of those, but you can go with those over on Prize Picks, as well as the rushing here, which is a little odd because it looks like the Sony Michel. Okay, so the Sony Michel one looks to have been pulled. Actually, no, it's way down at the bottom. So Sony Michel 64 and a half still. This is the Cardinals game, the Cardinals Rams game. These are the Cardinals rushing stats. Personally, I like Kyler Murray to go over the rushing yards more than I like James Conner, who was held to 2.8 yards per carry the last time he played against the Rams. Receiving yards, in case you are interested on that. These are the receiving yards for the Rams and Cardinals game. And then there's more as well. Now, Higbee is going to be... I think Higbee just got taken out while I said that. Ertz more. And then I actually think I saw Kendall Blanton in there. All right, here's a funny one, okay? Kendall Blanton is likely going to start at tight end. Is he going over or under that 19.5 receiving yards prop? Over, under Kendall Blanton. He needs to get 20 yards or more in this game. Over, under Kendall Blanton. I want to see how bold some of you are. Or not bold. I'm going to say under. I'm not even going to touch that, but... Oh, we got an over. Over. Wow, got 3 overs on Blanton. Damn. 2 unders, 3 overs. Here are the fantasy scores. Damn it, Michael. More fantasy scores. Receptions. More receptions, although keep in mind Higbee's out. I think they just took him out on that. And then you have touchdowns, which you can only do Sony Michel or James Conner on this. Receiving touchdowns, Hopkins and Kupp. Pass completions, which honestly I think this is the safer bet than yards, but personally, but that's just me. And interceptions. I wouldn't touch this, but it's there as well. So that's Prize Picks. I mean, it's not just, football. You can do. So, it's a great app. If you haven't already signed up, you can. Once again, I'll drop another link in the chat. But yeah, I'm trying to get everyone on the Prize Picks train because it's just a great app. And you can watch games that you don't even want to watch. It gets you more interested in them. And yes, hit the like button. Nolan, I agree. Not bad, guys. Not a bad stream. I think this was I don't know. I think this might end up being our pregame stream. I had a lot of fun. I thought we Yes, Nolan. Love to hear it. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun doing this with you guys. I thought this was a fun stream. Prediction, I initially had the Rams winning 31-24. I'm going to say the Rams win. I'm going to say the Rams win a nail-biter, 37-33 tonight. I'm switching it to 37-33. I think it's going to be more of an offensive battle. I don't think it's going to be a blowout on either side, but so yeah, I'll be back after the game, and we'll discuss what we gotta discuss and leave it at that. But man, this is a fun stream. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Once again, thanks to Prize Picks for sponsoring the channel, and yeah, go Rams. Later, guys. I'll see you tonight.